Hi, it's Pauline from Mother Bunch Crochet. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to do the foundation single crochet stitch or the foundation double crochet stitch if you're using UK terms. So it's exactly the same technique, just a different name. If you've made any of my bag patterns, you'll know that I really like using this stitch to do the straps. I find that it's a lot better than doing a chain stitch for the straps, and I'll show you why. And I'll show you in close-up detail how to do the stitch in this tutorial. So in this example, so this is the Frankston market bag, which you can find the video tutorial on my channel, or you can find the written pattern on my blog. And I've just finished working single crochets up the side of the gathered section for the border, and I'm about to start the strap. So if you were to do a chain here, I'll just show you. If you were to do a chain here for the strap, you would see that after doing the first round of the border, you'd have a single crochet thickness border on the bag part, but the strap you would just have a chain. It means you've got to do a couple of extra rows of single crochet to get that thickness on the strap. So I really like the foundation single crochet because you will already have the thickness of one row of single crochet or UK double crochet when you've finished the first round. And also I really hate working single crochets into chains. I tend to chain too tightly, so it's often quite difficult to work the single crochets into the chain for me when I have a long foundation chain, so I prefer this method. So essentially what we're doing with this stitch is you're forming the base chain and then the single crochet at the same time rather than having the chain already there. So we always need to pull up a loop that forms our base chain for the stitch. And when you're making a bag, you're just going to pull up that first loop through whatever stitch you're anchoring to. So in this case, I'm going through the top loops of the half double crochet that's on the end of the gathered section here. So I'm going to insert my hook under both loops and pull up a loop here. So this is going to form the base chain for the foundation single crochet. So then I yarn over and pull a loop through that first loop. So this is our base chain, and now we've got the two loops on the hook, which you would normally expect with a single crochet. We can yarn over and pull through those two loops, and that's our first stitch. So it looks a bit wonky. Once you've done a few stitches, it should look should make a bit more sense. But this is essentially the base chain here, and this top part is like a normal single crochet stitch. So to start the second stitch, we need to pull up another base loop, and so you're going to work into the bottom of the stitch that we just formed, and you want to put your hook under, there's two loops there from the bottom of that stitch, and that's where we pull up a loop for the base stitch for our second foundation single crochet. So then we yarn over and pull through the first loop, yarn over and pull through the last two, and that's our second stitch formed. So let's just do that again. So we're inserting the hook under the base of the last stitch. It should be going under two loops there. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over and pull through two. Let's do a couple more of those. So inserting the hook under the base of the last stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first loop, yarn over, pull through two. And now we can start to see how this forms the strap coming away from the bag, the body of the bag, and you can see that it's already the thickness of a row of single crochet. It takes a bit of time to get the hang of this stitch if it's the first time you've done it, so don't worry if it looks a bit wonky. Keep going, and after you've done maybe 5 to 10, have a look and see what it looks like. If it's a bit wonky the first time, you might need to go back and redo it once you've got the hang of it. But once you've got the hang of it, it should be fairly quick to do. I'll just do a few more stitches there. So you can see when I stopped after the third or fourth one, it still looked a bit wonky, but it's starting to look a lot straighter now. So one of the problems you can have is that it sort of starts to curve over inwards, and that is caused by having the base loop being too short, so you're not pulling up the chain long enough. I'll just demonstrate here. So with that, our first base loop, if you just keep it tight like that over the hook, it can be, see how it's a lot shorter than the top loops on that stitch, and so that will eventually make your strap seem to curve over. Now I wouldn't worry too much if you're making a bag, because actually we want the strap to curve in and join back here anyway, and no one's going to notice when you finish it. But if you're using this stitch to form the base of like a blanket or something, you really need to be careful of that to make sure that these bottom loops and the top loops are like the same length. And so if you're having problems with that, just make sure that when you pull up that first base loop, just use your hook to pull it out a bit longer. And then you shouldn't have that problem of it pulling in. Okay, and it does look a little bit wonky. This is the one where I demonstrated having the shorter base chain, so you can see it looks a bit wonky because the top loops are longer than the bottom loops. But I wouldn't worry too much. As you practice this stitch, you'll get better at making the stitches look more consistent. But what we're going to do in the next round anyway for the bag strap is do another round of single crochet over the top of here, and it's going to hide those looser stitches, and I promise you won't notice once you've finished it. So persevere with the stitch. Try it a few times, and I think you'll find that this is much better than doing a chain, because you've already got that thickness on the strap and you don't have that frustration of working single crochets into a long base chain. So I hope that tutorial was helpful for you. You can find more videos on my YouTube channel and written patterns with photo tutorials on my blog motherbunch.wordpress.com. Thanks for watching.